G'day everybody. Been pretty busy with my videos and travelling and getting out and about, filming and doing stuff this weekend. I tell you one thing for certain, since I've started making my videos, instead of being the lazy guy that just sits on my ass watching videos, I've now been proactive and I'm doing so much more stuff. Doing the videos gives me the motivation to get off my ass and do stuff, so I'm actually really enjoying doing it. So I've got so much stuff, so many subjects to cover and so much crap to talk about, so there's plenty of stuff to come. Anyway, one of my mates, fellow YouTuber, he did a video recently about haversacks, looking for patterns and things like that. I didn't think about it at the time when we had a discussion about it, but something came up today where I've got some haversacks or little bags for gas masks. So I know this will be a bit of a comical sort of subject, but anyway, I got a bunch of these gas masks, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, going through all my prepping and survival-y sort of stuff. I wanted to be well-rounded, so I wanted some gas masks. I looked into it. I seen the prices of the new NATO stuff, seen Israeli stuff, American, you know, looked at British stuff, seen the price of it, how much shipping's going to cost me, the price of new filters, etc, etc. And then, yes, they might be really good, but then there's straps and all sorts of stuff. And so I was thinking, okay, that might be good for me to get a really good one, but what about the rest of my family? 2 stepkids, missus, they're not interested in any of this stuff. They're not going to do any training or want to be interested in learning how to fit any of this stuff properly. So I thought, okay, I looked into it, and what I came up with was the old Soviet GP5 and their sort of family and different variations of their families. And you know, I got into the gas mask thing for about, I don't know, 3 months or so. So the reason why, a couple of reasons why I settled on these was because they were cheap and any idiot can figure out how to put them on. You just pull that over your head. They make, so you need no training. You just need to shove it on your head, pull it on, and you're good to go. They were cheap. So at that time, I know that they've got, since all this COVID crap's gone on, they're quite a bit more expensive now. But I was getting these for roughly about $5 each, and then I'd pay shipping on that. So instead of buying a couple and paying shipping lots of times, I was looking at the bulk buys, and so I just bought a few of the different bulk buys, and I had no idea of what size was going to be my size. Plus I've got the missus and 2 stepkids, which were a lot younger and smaller than they are now. Plus I've got friends and family and loved ones that I also wanted to have something. I don't expect them to be a crazy nutter and prepper and all that sort of stuff, so I thought, I can afford to buy this stuff, so I will. And the other beauty thing is these came in 5, I think it's 5 sizes. So you get your 1, 2, up to 5. So they make them for little kids, and all the way through, this is like a number 2. So this would be the second smallest. And then for the big pumpkin heads, you've got your number 5. So yeah, I got those for, you know, who knows, and who would have thought that they were going to roll out this COVID so-called stuff upon us. So anyway, I think these come in handy now. Sit on the bus wearing these and or the train or whatever, and just have a bit of a giggle, you know. Can't really see these stupid little masks saving anyone or spreading anything or stopping spreading anything. Anyway, that's a whole different subject. So anyway, the purpose of this video was to touch on to get to the haversacks themselves, but I'm just giving the background story of why I've got them, what they are, may as well talk about them since I'm touching on the subject. People might want to know a couple of things. So the GP5s are really simple. Everyone's seen them. They're around. The filter basically either A, can just screw onto the front here, or you can attach a hose to one end, or screw the hose in this into the mask, and then the filter can go either tuck it into your shirt, tuck it into a backpack, or whatever you want to do. There's different variants of these. These ones, these work exceptionally really well. And when I say that, they seal really well, and there's little things in here, so when you breathe in, fresh air comes in and blasts against the eyelet so you don't fog up, and that's why I reckon these are extremely good. The only downside to them is if you wear glasses, you can't wear your glasses at the same time as wearing these, but if you were just sort of hunkering down and you had bushfire and heaps of smoke, like you might have seen when we had our bushfires quite a few years ago, I believe the smoke made it all the way over to South America, so everybody in Australia would totally, and New Zealand, covered New Zealand, so everyone in Australia at that time, I know job sites were getting closed down because of the smoke hazard, so there is an issue, a genuine reason, you know. We've had dust storms in Australia as well, which have started in the middle of Australia and come the whole way over the east coast. So, you know, they're just handy. I'd rather have them and not need them than not have anything at all and then need them. So, anyway, there's different filters. These are a 40mm GOST filter. So this is the Soviet filter. The NATO ones are different, or the American, European sort of ones. They're different. They're still 40mm, but the threads aren't compatible. I'm pretty sure you could get plumber's tape or something similar, wax or grease. You could probably get the the NATO 40mm NATO's ones. You can force them in, but it won't be an airtight seal. But you could use some of the other products, like I said, plumber's tape, grease, wax or something, and it will seal as an emergency. But you can buy current model Soviet. These are NBC. This one here is a full range. I've got, I don't know, I think I bought 4 proper good ones. They do cost money. You'll find that a good gas mask, just like any good piece of kit, you got to spend money, and this is something that you don't want to cheap out on if your life's on the line or your loved one's life's on the line. So I bought myself 4 in date till 2025 good filters. I believe they were about 100 and, including shipping, $130 a pair. So you know, it's a bit of money. Then I bought some still sealed in the alfoil bag. I bought some that are out of date, but they are going to be better than nothing. But they were about half price. Then you'll see online there's a whole bunch of this style big canisters, or there's the small same colour pea coloured, sort of mushy pea coloured, and there's also like a bright, like a dark green olive canister as well. The military ones made in from the late 90s, 2000s, all the way down to, you know, the 1960s and 50s. Those ones, they may work with you risking it. They're cheap. They're really cheap. They're really available, but there's reasons why they're cheap and they're available. They've potentially broken down a bit, and they all have asbestos in them. So that's definitely something to consider. I've seen videos of young kids with their airsoft sort of guns, setups, and all that sort of stuff, and they buy these gas masks and they're putting on 1960s, 1970s, 80s, 90s Soviet and Soviet bloc country produced gas masks that have got asbestos in them, They've been through logistics chains, who knows where, thrown into trucks, probably, you know. So you've got to think that some of that, you've got to be cautious and think that some of that asbestos has broken down, and you see these little kids and other people just doing reviews and testing the masks out, putting them on and then breathing through them. Well, that's potentially not really good, especially if you're only a young person or teenager or early 20s. Asbestos, they say, takes about 20 years to kick in, maybe 30 years to kick in before you become sick and die from it. So those people could shorten their lives. So it's something to think about. If you're an older person, 50 years old or something, and there's a huge emergency now, it doesn't matter. If we can just get through another few months, another year, so be it. But there is some things that you can do. You can get a P2 mask, a P3 mask, what are they, M95 mask or whatever they're called. You can cut out a disc and put the disc in the top here. So you've got a P2, P3 filter disc in between the asbestos gas filter and the mask itself. That could do the trick, or you spend the money. Now, looking into the American masks or even Israeli ones, the Israeli ones are good because the Israeli ones are good. Some of the Polish masks are really good as well. They're an in-between thread, so you can actually use the Soviet style filters or the NATO filters. I think it would be better if you had the money to get a NATO mask, American mask, British, Australian, whatever, a modern mask. They're generally going to be of the allied countries. They're going to be all using the standard NATO filters. They're the easiest to buy. They're all over the place. They're still not cheap, but they're available. Soviet, you've got to look a little bit harder to find in-date stuff. You can, I looked right into it. We won't go too much further into the gas mask side of things because it'll just blow the video out. The reason why this subject came up is my missus pulled all the stuff out of one of my mask bags, and she decided to go for a little walk and thought, oh, this is a great little haversack, and I can put a couple of beers in there and my phone and my stuff, and I can go for a walk. And I came home and they went, what are you doing? Why are you using this? And then she said, oh, because it's, just basically perfect. And then I thought, oh, Dean was saying he wanted something to make a pattern off. Well, I'm not sort of recommending this to make a pattern off for a bushcrafting thing, but I know that they're really cheap, and depending on where you live in the world, and shipping's not a problem. Shipping to Australia, everything costs a lot of money. But if you're in England, Europe, or America, and the shipping's cheap, I do remember seeing just the bags alone, and they were like next to nothing. They were like $1 each, and I was buying the bulk. I've got probably about 30 or 40 masks. Just went a bit crazy for a few months. Each mask came with one of these little haversacks. They weigh nothing. They're made of cotton, and they're fully adjustable, and they got little separate compartments on them. What I have found is the better quality and more expensive the mask, especially these are the oldest or the older sort of style. Then you get other ones that have got other like little round valve things here that allow you to talk. These ones that you can't really talk through them and hear very well. The other ones that have got the voice diaphragm on them, they cost a little bit more. There's sniper ones that have got the voice diaphragm on them as well. They're better masks, so they come with, the more expensive ones come with better little haversacks. But this one here is actually quite a robust, good little sack, and it's got like, little carabiner-y sort of thing here, D-clips on it. It's got multiple little pouches on it. There's dividers inside, little name tag things here, and they're pretty heavy duty. These ones here are really cheap and nasty, but they cost nothing. And considering that you could get a gas mask, and I've seen, the steampunk people were buying them and then they're selling them secondhand after they've gone to their little event or whatever they were doing. So I have seen these in America and overseas, like super cheap, but the shipping from America to Australia is just ridiculous. But for you guys over there, you could get yourselves a gas mask and a haversack, or you could get the haversacks really cheap. This is just full of haversacks. There's probably 6 or 7 of these haversacks, maybe more inside there. This one came out of there as well, and yeah, just really cheap little haversack, and it's like super lightweight. You know, if you just want something to go up the local bushland, collect some fat wood, put your phone, wallet, keys, etc., in there, and, or just chuck your fat wood in it. You know, something that you can just sling over your shoulder instead of a shopping bag like we do. Well, you know, it's just a cheap little option. Mine, my empty one with the contents all over the lounge, was just sitting there, and I thought, aha, I'll do it. So anyway, there you go. Soviet GP5 and the many variants out there, really cheap, very easy to put on. I think they're pretty good. Haversacks vary in quality and size, but some of them, like these two here, these grey ones, they're really good quality, like they're great. And then you got these nice cheap little things here that cost nothing. So anyway, I've got more videos to make, probably maybe another 2 if I can get them out tonight. See you later, guys.